What up, G-Life? It's your boy, Shadow, back at you with another video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if possible, share, because it does help my channel. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I wanted to talk about today was one of the things that gets confused a lot. And I hear a lot of people always, yapping this one. Acting like if they know. And it's one that has always baffled me. There's a difference when you're a gang member. There's a difference between being a gang member and being a drug dealer, a hustler, a slanger, whatever you want to call it. But someone that, deals drugs. For some odd reason, it's always attached to gang members that we're over here putting drugs out into the streets and et cetera, when there's a difference between a drug dealer and a gang member. A lot of the times, most drug dealers aren't even from gangs. They're not gang members at all. They may have a crew. They themselves may be strapped in about the business, but they themselves don't belong to no gang, because obviously they want all the profits for themselves. They don't want to share. I mean, they have buddies that they could pay in case, people don't want to pay up and stuff like that, but they are not themselves, from a gang. Now, am I saying that there's no gang members that sell drugs? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, in a gang, if you have 20 individuals standing in the corner, out of all those individuals, maybe only one of them sells drugs. And that's if you're lucky. One of them will sell drugs. So they themselves are not selling drugs or putting drugs out there into the streets. Like I said, out of all the gang, and I'm not just speaking on Hispanic, I'm talking about even like blacks or any other organization. Out of all that group that's posted out in the corner, whether it's 30, 40, 50 heads, you'll probably have only 2 that sell drugs or 1 that sells drugs. Most gang members don't deal in drugs. You know what I'm saying? You only have a few out there that do, and if you have 20 guys out there standing, maybe only 2 of them are actually packing guns or having possession of a firearm. Not everybody, and it's not like how the movies make it seem and all this and that, and those are the truth. I know people don't like the truth. They don't like it when I come and speak the truth. That's the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? Was it the saying, maybe 3 out of 8 are packing and 1 dealing drugs. So despite what people want to say, these individuals are not the ones that are pumping all these drugs into the streets. It's one thing that I have always said that it's funny, and I use this line in my raps a lot too, is that one of the lines I say is that the chemist is the one that created the drugs, because it's true. You know what I'm saying? It was somebody that obviously was intelligent, someone that knew his way around chemicals, obviously, that produced these products, and then taught these individuals to mass produce the product because they could make a profit off of it, and created an empire. And let me tell you, if you're telling me that it was a gang member that got his PhD in chemistry and all of that, I mean, a lot of people are gonna find that pretty hard to believe, my boy. and gang members are not the ones that are mass producing these firearms. You get what I'm saying? We have the technology and the equipment to find Osama bin Laden and individuals like that, right? We're able to find even the most hardest of hardest that their whole government is hiding them. You know what I mean? With all their resources, we're able to find these individuals. And you're telling me they're not able to find these individuals that are putting guns out there in the streets? We have the means to find people that their own government, with all the resources, is hiding, and we're not able to find the people that are putting these guns out in the streets. Are these drug dealers? Let that sink in for a little bit. It's kind of like the saying goes. You're telling me we have the technology that could take human beings to outer space, but we can't produce a phone that doesn't break? No, because where's the money in that? This is the reality of it. Governments are greedy, bro. Governments will look at any means to create their profit. They'll turn the cheek, bro. They'll look the other way. You know what I mean? Securing their pay. That's what I say. Everybody loves money. They have an infatuation with money. Money's a necessity, but it's not. It doesn't mean everything. But yet, society pushes it like it is everything. That is the reason why you get all this madre to begin with. Whether it's crooked cops, crooked judges, lawyers, governments turning the other eye. Whether it's people making transactions underneath the table and all of this. All of this goes back to the greed and the desperate for money mentality that society is fueling onto everybody. It's awfully funny. And then when light is shined on it, now everybody wants to point fingers, acting like they're innocents, when all their hands are in that cookie jar. And that's the reality. It's no conspiracy theory. Those are the facts, bro. How many times have you seen these drug busts where they round up all these gang members and everything for narcotic sales, firearm sales, and whatever, and somehow some law enforcement officers end up getting souped up in that shit too, and some lawyers and some see, even CEOs. Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me I'm making that up. Like if none of them have ever gotten souped up in no RICO accident, none of that. And even not just with Hispanics, but even like with the Italian mob and all of that. You know what I mean? I mean, for heaven's sakes, not that long ago, I made some videos talking about these sheriff gangs. Yes, sheriff gangs, law enforcement, police officers that have their own gangs within their precincts. That's just public record. You guys go and look. And we're not talking about just one gang, one police gang. We're not talking 2 police gangs. We're talking more than a dozen police gangs. Public record. Go ahead and look. Come back to me in the comments later on and tell me that I'm lying. Shadow, you fucking liar. You're making all of this up, bro. There ain't no such thing. Go research that. Come back to the comments on me and we'll talk. This is the reality of it. It's doggy dog world. Doggy dog game. People want to act. And they're aware of this. They just, oh no, there's no harm in their club or whatever, and they want to turn the other eye. And then somebody gets hurt and murdered. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe we do have. Oh, but why wasn't it a problem since the beginning? We're a problem since the beginning. Why weren't they a problem since the beginning? Because they white? Because they white, you think they can't commit crimes? Because they white, you think they can't, murder somebody or something? Tell me, where does it say that a white person can't kill somebody when most serial killers have been Caucasian? Most mass shooters have been Caucasian. Murder happens in every group, in every country of this fucking planet. Everywhere there's been murders committed by individuals who are from that land, not immigrants. Humans are naturally violent. So when they say like drug dealers, these gang members are all drug dealers and all of that, no, it's not just these gang members. Who are they connected? They're not all Hispanic. They're not all Mexican. They're not all black. They're not all white. That's the reality of it. To point out just a group of individuals that and want to play the blame game. And it's funny because I have even made a reference saying that if you were to remove all the Hispanics from the United States, you will still have a shitload of gangs between whites and blacks. And other races out there like Asian and Italian and Irish. You'll still have a shitload of gangs. You'll still have groups clashing. You remove all the Hispanics from the United States, you're still going to have a lot of drug dealers. Because there's a lot of drug dealers that are black, white, Asian, and all that. And drug addicts. Not just Hispanics. So for people to say that they're rapists, they're drug dealers, they're all this nonsense that they want to always attach to Latinos in general, Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever you want to fucking call us. It's ridiculous. Humanity in itself, we have a lot of flaws. One problem or one error is not just attached to one specific race. That is fucking ridiculous to think that. Get your heads out of your asses. And all that. Like I said, I'm only here to call it how it is. Not here to defend no group, nobody, or nothing like that. It's just that that's the truth of it. Like, not all of them fools be selling. Like, maybe one, if you're lucky, you'll have one. They'll know where to get the drugs from. They'll know where to go get drugs at. But they themselves are fueling the drugs out there. Like, No, I mean a small percentage of it. That we're talking about street neighborhoods, street gangs, you know, these hooligans, these hoodlums, you know. Tell me if I'm lying. I'm just saying. Those are the facts. And shout out, we out.